Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's raining quite loudly on the roof, so I do apologise for that, but I have my microphone on. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Today's video is most worn fragrances from September, so the fragrances I wore the most in the last month. We're into October now, we're quite a few days in, so I'm a little bit late on the uptake. This is probably going to be in every single most worn video. My Insolence from Guerlain, I won't dwell on it. It's a soft, fluffy, musky vanilla with some orange blossom, almond blossom and some raspberry in the opening. I love it. It smells like me. It's pretty much my signature scent, so it's always going to get a mention in these videos. So I'm going to start with full bottles. Cat hair stuck on my eyelashes, great. I'm going to start with full bottles and we're going to go with some new to me stuff. So I've been testing these out. I've got one on eBay. This one was from eBay. This is Miss Dior Cherie. So this is a discontinued pre-formulation of Miss Dior when it was called Cherie, and I got that one on eBay. And then this was purchased from a fragrant friend on a Facebook group, and that's the Miss Dior current formulation Eau de Toilette. So these have had a lot of testings, maybe not necessarily as a full wearings, but up my arms and while I'm maybe wearing something else. But I've given them both full wearings and I will be reviewing them in due course. Let me know if you're interested in one over the other. I will try and build a little collection of these because I find them really cute. I like the bottles. I'm really curious about the different formulations, so I'm going to try and build a little Miss Dior collection. The Cherie I prefer over the Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Toilette is quite citrusy with a hint of the florals, whereas Miss Dior Cherie has more depth. It's got a patchouli that anchors it and gives it a little more of a flavour. And then the florals are pretty, and there's a sort of sweet, sharp strawberry note in here. So I prefer that one. That would be a great daytime summer fragrance, but this one's probably more my thing. They are kind of generic if you're into niche fragrances. They might not scratch your itch, but I'm delving back into some designer fragrances, and this one has just really grabbed my attention. I don't think it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's not the fragrance I'm going to be reaching for the most in my collection, but I'm just kind of like the simplicity of them. Simple, elegant, you smell good, you don't have to think too much about it. So Miss Dior Cherie and Miss Dior Eau de Toilette. I've worn this one, which is Elie Saab Essence No. 1 Rose, a few times in September. I find it a lovely, rich, jammy red rose, a little tiny bit ambery. I feel like there's some labdanum in here, and it's the sort of scent that I like to wear on a cold day or on a miserable evening. So today is very rainy and horrible. This is the kind of scent I like to wear, and it's lovely. This is my bottle of Grâce d'Orient, and it's by Angelos Olfactives Creations. I've sent a little bit out, so I haven't used all of that. I have sent a couple of samples out to friends. Lizzie from Rose & Jones received the sample and fell in love. It's a floral, I think it's ylang ylang and jasmine. Very musky, very powdery. There's natural iris in here, there's natural vanilla in here. It has a very retro, old school feel about it, but not sharp or screechy or aldehydic. So it's nothing like Chanel No. 5. If you like the older, original sort of Caron fragrances, or even the really old Guerlains, you may well find that this is something that you will love. I certainly do. This is my atomizer for Iris Ganache. Now that the weather's getting cooler and downright miserable, then I reach for my richer, sweeter fragrances. Iris Ganache is The opening has a bit of freshness from bergamot, and you can smell the iris straight away. It's a powdery, but there's loads and loads of vanilla. It's almost a little bit violet-y. There's some cinnamon, so it gives it a little richness. This is a beautiful fragrance. Has a white chocolate ganache note, but that's very subtle. This isn't really a chocolatey scent, just an abstract idea of chocolate in the mix there. I love it. Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle has been given quite a few wearings because I love it. It's easy for me to reach for, very much an easy reach. I know it smells great. I've got loads of compliments on it over the sort of few months that I've had it, and it just has the most delectable, rich, vanilla-y, woodsy dry down. I just adore it, and it lasts really well on my skin as well. So that is Jean Paul Gaultier La Belle. Has the pear in the top note that's kind of famous for now. September was my birthday month, and my scent of my birthday was Embers by Teone Reinthal. They are a natural perfumery house in Australia, and Embers is the best vanilla fragrance I have ever smelled. The vanilla has cherry nuances to it, almost cherry marzipan. It's just amazing. The sandalwood in here is Mysore sandalwood, and it's at 7.5% of the formula, so it's quite a lot of sandalwood, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's rich and buttery. Everything's smooth, blended to absolute perfection. You do get some changes as you're wearing it. I just love it. It's the best thing I think I've ever smelled in my life. So I wore that on my birthday and a few other days in September as well. I'm trying to be careful not to wear it too much because it's very, very precious. This month I was lucky enough to be sent a sample of a fragrance. The new fragrance from Gallivant is called Bukhara. Nick Stewart, the brand owner, creative director, sent me this sample, and I fell in love instantly. I did do an first impressions somewhere on my channel, and I got through a lot of that sample. I gave it a couple of full wearings, but then I was so afraid of it running out that I would just do like one wrist, one spray every day. Almost every day I was doing one wrist with one spray from this sample, and decided that I just had to buy a bottle. So here's my bottle, and I think I've given a sample away to someone, so that's not all use, but it's been worn a lot. Considering I've got over 100 bottles, this has been getting a lot of use day and night. I love it. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't really lend itself to any particular occasion. It just gives you this gorgeous, rich aura of. So when you first spray it, it smells a bit like silk. It's an iris fragrance. There's iris, jasmine, I think there's musk. I'm not sure if it's ambrette. I'm not entirely sure. It's very musky, but clean. The jasmine isn't prominent. It just feels, everything feels blended. It's also slightly spicy. I think there's cardamom. Again, I don't really pick out any real noticeable notes so much as just a lovely, slightly sweet, musky, irisy, powdery aura. And I like how it changes on my skin. So sometimes it's a bit sweeter, and then sometimes the sweetness dissipates. It's like a really gentle rolling journey of a fragrance, and I am in love with it. This could be a signature scent for me. And in fact, I did put it in my signature scent video for niche fragrances. I think it's the perfect signature scent for anyone who likes musky, irisy, powdery type scents. For me, this is something special. So finally, I'm just going to mention some things I've been sampling. So I'm testing for review at the moment. I was sent a sample of Rouge Saray by Atelier des Ors. Megan at the brand kindly sent me a sample of this, as well as the Polychrome Blanc. The Polychrome Blanc is very citrusy, clean fragrance. It kind of dries down to slightly woodsy. I'm not sure if it's vetiver. Goes a little masculine on my skin. very summery, and this is very wintry. This is extremely rich. I'm wearing it here. There's notes of dates and plum, heliotrope. There's various resins and woods, a little bit of spice, there's some cinnamon. It's so rich, it's overwhelming. So I needed to wait till it cooled down, because I've had this a few months now. I needed to wait till it cooled down to test it, because it was just overwhelming when it was warmer. And I find it overwhelming when you first spray it, but the dry down for me is really, really good. So I'll be reviewing that, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, except to say if you like really strong, rich fragrances with sweetness, that it's not too sweet, it's not a synthetic sweetness. Sweetie, here comes the cat. It's not a synthetic sweetness, but it's a sweetness which I think come from probably the dates, the sort of the fruit, the rich fruits, rich syrupy fruits. Then this is definitely worth your consideration, but a review will be coming. Two other scents I've been testing and enjoying were sent to me by Irma, the lovely Irma, very kind, very generous. She's on Instagram, she posts the most beautiful pictures, and I will try and link her Instagram below so you can check her out. She also does little brief reviews as well sometimes. So she sent me, she knows my taste quite well, we share quite similar tastes. She sent me some Atlas Gardens from Yves Saint Laurent. It's an orange blossom fragrance. It does get compared a little bit to Kilian's Love Don't Be Shy. And actually without reading the reviews, when I was wearing it, I thought this reminds me a little bit of the orange blossom in Love Don't Be Shy, and other people have made that comparison, but it's really, really nice. The plastic's got a smell to it. I'm going to go on this wrist actually with Atlas Gardens, away from the cat. The cat's, you can't see her, but she's on my lap. If I move her up, she'll get her claws out, because I've learnt from experience. Atlas Gardens is it's kind of almondy, vanilla-y, white floral, very much orange blossom, but there's a bit of a texture, almost like a woody texture to it. So I will probably be, or I'll try and do a review. I've only got a little bit. I don't think I'm going to buy it, but that could change. I like it quite a lot. So Atlas Gardens, I might review that. And she also sent me Vanille de Tahiti, which is Perris Montecarlo. And this is a really nice vanilla fragrance. Let's see if I've got any skin. We'll go up here. Really nice vanilla fragrance. It's a little bit unusual. It's not a typical, it's not straight up vanilla. It's almost, actually in this spray, it reminds me a little bit of Intense Cafe, which I hadn't really put that together before. It's got a little bit of a freshness from a citrus note, probably bergamot, maybe some orange, but it also reminds me a little bit of, it's a little bit coffee-like. Very much a fluffy vanilla, a little bit marshmallow-like. A really nice vanilla fragrance. I've got millions of vanillas. Do I need another one? I'm not sure. We'll see, but I do like that one. So it's Vanille de Tahiti from Perris Montecarlo. They do make beautiful fragrances. I think they use very nice, a lot of natural, high quality materials, and you can kind of tell that's a pretty fragrance. So that's everything I wore this month. Let me know what you've been wearing a lot, what's been your most worn in September, and I'll catch you in another video.